Hi, I'm Matt Burns. It's Wednesday, May 21st, 2025, and it's currently 2:08 p.m. Eastern something time as of me recording this. Currently today I am raw-dogging life, based on what Theo Vaughn and Mark Zuckerberg have said. Yeah, I normally take ADHD meds and have for like the last almost year. And if I don't, I normally have like an energy drink or something, like maybe if it's later in the day when I wake up and I don't want to like use the Vyvanse because that lasts forever. So I don't take it past like, I don't know, 9 o'clock or something in the morning. And so I'll have like a Red Bull to like get me through the early parts of the day. But I thought today I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to challenge myself to not do it today. And I don't take it on the weekends. I have been a little bit more caffeine using on the weekends lately. But I decided not today. I'm going to try without it. I don't have many lessons to give on the piano, which is really where I feel like my brain deadness would impact somebody else. But my lessons today are pretty easy, and they're kids that I really, really like. Not that I don't like all my students, but they're just easier lessons. Therefore, if I'm a little dead, it's alright. I didn't really know a ton of what to write about. I had thought about a couple things, but I wrote down some good news. Here it is. A student invited me to his preschool graduation yesterday. So, this is one of my piano students. He has an older brother. But, yeah, I was playing piano with him yesterday, and I forget why, but he just asked me, he's like, would you come to my preschool graduation? And I said, well, I don't want to crash your family's party, you know. I don't want his family to be like, what is he doing here? We have a really good relationship, me and his family. They really like me, and I've given his mom piano lessons as well. And his family just generally really likes me, and his brother really likes me, and I have fun with them. And I like the kids a lot and the parents. But, you know, I don't want to crash a family party. But this morning, that was in the evening yesterday, and I talked to his mom after. I said, you know, your son invited me to his preschool graduation, and she just laughed. And she said, of course you don't have to do that, and it ends up, it's later this week, and she said it's during the day, and of course you don't have to make time for it and stuff, but I think it'd be fun. It's cute, too. This kid especially, he's just extremely nice and kind, and he's a great singer, really, really good singer, probably the best preschool singer I've ever heard. I've not heard many preschool singers, but he's extremely good pitch-wise. I actually told him yesterday, I said, you know, dude, you've got a great ear. And he goes, actually, I had to put medicine in my ear the other day, so I don't think it's so good right now. And he must have had like an ear infection or something. I just thought it was super funny because, you know, when a musician says you have a good ear, it's because you can hear the notes well and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, he's too young to quite know what that means. So, anyways, he invited me to that. But one of his brother's friends, his brother's older than him, one of his classmate friends, he also takes lessons with me, and his mom will message me occasionally and talk to me about music stuff or something fun that the kids are doing. And she said, oh, that boy wanted me to personally remind you and text you that his graduation is later this week and he wants to see you there. I just thought it was funny that he got in contact. I think she must have been at his preschool with her younger kids, because I think her younger kids go to preschool with him, and he must have thought, oh, you know, her son takes lessons with me. I need to tell her to remind him that my preschool graduation is in. So I thought it was cute. I thought it was fun. It made my day. So that was my stimulants for the day, was that message reminding me of his graduation. I did something today when I didn't really need to. I got up really late. I got up at 11:30. Felt like crap. I still feel bad physically. Even though I got tons of sleep. I think I've just been like running myself into the ground, and taking stimulants, I feel like over long periods of time also does that. It's like you just race more and more. on the wheel. So normally on a day like this that's really bad, during my daytime job, I'd actually just take the day off. And I don't get any PTO because it's a super easy job. It's whatever. I don't mind because normally I can get close to my maximum hours anyways. But today I was just like, well, my lessons are within a 10-minute drive of where I work during the day. And that's closer than what my actual home is. So it's like, I can come in here, I can just do whatever I need to do for a couple hours. I'll get paid for it. And I just need to suck it up, right? If I really wanted to, I could take a nap during my lunch break here. So it's no big deal at all. If I make excuses for it, it's pretty tough to make valid excuses for it. Except for the fact that I can, make up the hours on another day. That is kind of what I will, tend to do. But at the same time, you never know what's going to happen on Friday or whatever, whenever I can make up those hours. Maybe something comes up and I can't make up those hours. So it's good for me to come in and do that. So I didn't really need to do anything like that today, but I already got 30 minutes of Duolingo out of the way. I got my check dropped off to reserve the clubhouse in my apartment complex for my birthday party. So that was important stuff that I got out of the way. I plan on practicing a little bit of guitar, doing some summer scheduling, and just maybe 45 minutes to an hour of more productive work here while I'm here before my lessons even start. So I feel good that I'm, still, it may not be as long and productive as a day as what I normally have, but I'm on the right track. Duolingo, I'm on a 17-day streak where I am doing 30 minutes a day. And some days I've done more. On the weekend, I put in an hour to an hour 15. So I'm doing pretty well at that. That's good. Bad news, I'm tired as hell. So, yeah. I also wrote down, the more accomplished my days are, the less time I feel like I have. I've really been trying to fill up my days with productive things. I'm 26 now. It's a week into me being 26. And I need to figure out really how to live a good life and do all the things that I need to do for myself, for other people around me, how to be financially stable, how to be fulfilled in my life. So I need to make sure that I'm spending the time that I need to on things. I want to make sure I'm in good physical health, good mental health. I have good connections with the people around me. And to do all that stuff in a day and in a week and in a month and a year, it just grinds and grinds and grinds, and today I'm really feeling that grind. So I wrote down the rat race. Number 1, I said, taking time to improve my life and circumstances, but I lose the time to share life with others. So a lot of times in the morning, I might wake up. I've been trying to wake up around 7, somewhere in the ballpark of 7. So that way I can get into the daytime workplace at 7:30. That will allow me to get in full days, full hours, and have plenty of time to get things that I need done. Also, I have the cushiest job in the world. That's an 8-hour workday where maybe 2 of those hours is real work. And that leaves 6 hours for me to do whatever I want with access to the internet. So, that's where I've been spending my Duolingo time, some of my guitar practice, most of my guitar practice, actually. I was doing 2.5 hours a day of practicing here. I'm never going to have that opportunity anywhere else, except maybe if I can get into dog sitting after I'm done here, if I don't have enough piano lessons to sustain me. That's another thing I've been doing here, is scheduling my piano lessons, making sure that I'm upkeeping the quality of my lessons and doing the things that I need to do. But what that means is, after my piano lessons, sometimes I'm not home till 7:30 or 8, especially if I'm buying groceries or doing something after my work. And then on top of that, I might be going to the gym, 3 times a week. And, if that takes me an hour from the time I leave for the gym, really an hour 40 from the time I leave for the gym, come back, take out the trash or whatever I need to do, hop in the shower and get cleaned up and everything. Sometimes I'm not done with work, and then the gym until 9:15, 9:30, and then, I live with my girlfriend. I want to upkeep the apartment as much as I can in that time. Might end up spending still like an hour on upkeep after that, so then it's 10:30, and then still got to eat dinner, and then, it might be 11:30 by the time I'm settled to go to bed, and that's like a toll on my girlfriend as well. That's really late. She works a normal job. She's a software developer, so she has a regular, consistent schedule. I do not so much. I have a consistent schedule, but it's long, and I'm still not super financially stable. My lessons pay for a lot. I make a lot of my money during my lessons. I make in 1 hour in my lessons what I do in 7 or 8 hours of work, here. But I have about 25 students in a week, and that's still not quite enough for me to sustain myself without this work. And even then, it's cutting it close. So hope is that over time I'll transition more to that, but that's just more added mental toll. And I've got like a year and a half left here, and I want to use it really well. So consistently every day, I'm just like going through this race that I'm sure other people are going through. And when I got prescribed ADHD meds a year ago, I know that I have ADHD. I am not 100% certain if the meds that I take Vyvanse. I'm really not sure if I'm getting the effect from the meds that I'm supposed to get. I've heard that if you have ADHD, you shouldn't feel like, anxious and wired when you're on the meds, but I do, and a lot of times I use it to my advantage as either like a substitute for morning coffee, or just something that helps me get through the of the day. But I wrote down here that stimulants help with my motivation and the ease of the time, but it way ups my mental toll because I feel like I'm like stressing myself out more and not letting myself breathe. I've noticed, I try to take a half hour during the day at work to like rest, and more specifically to try to take a nap. But a lot of times I'll close my eyes, turn on some music lightly, and I'll try for 40 minutes to fall asleep, and I can't do it. And I am great at falling asleep at night. But I think by the time I try to take the nap, it's like 4 or 5 hours after I've taken the meds, and I just can't sleep through it. And I think it's just like consistently like running my mind into the ground. And I don't want to be dead when I get home, because I want to have something in the tank for my girlfriend and for the things that I'm going to do in the evening, but it's pretty hard to find that right now. And I know that this is like a first world problem. I'm dealing with first world problems. I'm dealing with special first world problems that are not nearly as hard as many other people around me. And I'm lucky enough that I can live a life where I'm chasing dreams as an artist. I'm a musician, and I love working with people, and I don't make any money from my own music. I don't even make my own music. I played in a band where I played their music and played with them and made money from that. Obviously not enough to live on, not even enough to barely pay for the gas to get to and from long distance shows. But anyways, I'm trying to live this life as an artist, and a life led by art, even in what I work in, so I can have a fulfilling life to me. And trying to be financially responsible, especially in that, can be really tough. And working in the arts, so much of it is an emotional toll and an emotional obligation within the art, and I think that can also just weigh on things. Ultimately, I wrote down that it can be difficult to find balance. My girlfriend makes a lot of money, which is great, and she's way younger than me. She's not way younger than me. She's like a year and a half younger than me. But she was really young for her grade, and she's absurdly smart. She's a software developer. She has more money saved than most people probably ever will. And I want to live up to be able, if we ever get married in the future or have kids or whatever, if she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, I want her to be able to be a stay-at-home mom while I'm working. And to live that sort of life, and for me to support myself and a family as a musician, primarily, it's just a life that I'm going to have to carve out really intensely and really with a lot of direction, or it's not going to happen. And so I find that there's not a lot of room to let go of those responsibilities or to ease up on them. So I think the biggest thing for me over the course of the next rest of my life is to build that balance. And I want to build it before I run out of time to do fun things with the people I care about and to share good times with the people I care about. So that's sort of what my brain is running into, the fatigue of all that. So I hope that over time I can deal with it better, and that's part of why I make these videos. So if anyone sees this, hope you got something out of it, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.